What's up, guys? Plum Ninja here, and oh man, is it finally here. Dark Souls Remastered. This is something that has been. This is probably one thing that I was kind of skeptical about getting. One reason is mostly because I do still play the original Dark Souls, the first Dark Souls. It's just I play it on the Xbox One because it is backwards compatible. But now they released a remastered version, and I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. I've already played a little bit of it, but I haven't gotten very far. Um, they've introduced some new things, and basically all they did was they took the original game, added a couple of things, a couple small things, and they just polished it. However, this is something that has got a lot of Souls fans kind of upset because why would they re-release this game when the original servers were still active? On top, among other things as well. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna start a completely new game. I'm gonna try to get as far as I can within the time limit. My goal is to try to at least get to the first bell. You'll see what I'm talking about if for those who have never played this game. So let's do a new game. And classic character creation, we just do it right at the beginning. So we're gonna go ahead and put in Plum Ninja. Okay. And we're gonna keep him male. And I'm kind of debating whether I want to go for a strength build or a quality build, or if I want to go for a dexterity build. For those who don't know what a quality build is basically a mixture of dex and strength, which I actually think I might end up doing. So I'm gonna go with the warrior because you can't go wrong with warrior class. I'm gonna go with black fire bombs. You actually have quite a few very useful beginning items. So you have Goddess's Blessing, which wipes away, it says Divine Holy Water, fully restores HP and statuses. So if you have any sort of poison, toxic status effects, it'll completely wipe away all status effects with the exception of being cursed. And you'll see what that is later on. So, black fire bombs are just these little grenades that you throw. Twin humanities. This is something that was not in later in Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3. Basically, it grants you 2 humanity. The mechanics in this game, as far as how they treat humanity, is totally different for how they treat it in Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3. Binocular, self-explanatory, lets you see faraway sights. The pendant is honestly is a trinket. We'll be able to pick this up later on, but the pendant is basically a trinket with no effect, and it literally has no effect. It's a useless item. Master key is basically a set of keys that will open up just about any lock, with some exceptions. Honestly, a really good one for exploring, but we can also get it very early on in the game, so it's not necessary that we need to pick it up right now. Tiny Being's Ring is a small ring that grants a little bit of HP. And Old Witch's Ring, honestly, I would recommend that you get, because, wow, that's kind of loud. It allows you to talk to a particular character later on in the game. However, you can still acquire it, in the game. You just need to trade it for something. But I want to go with black fire bombs. So, physique, we're just going to do average. I like to do Far East Traveler. Receding hairline with red hair. And we'll go ahead and get moving. Oh man, I'm honestly excited.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and And with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bolts peeled apart their stone scales. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And Seath, the Scaleless, betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more. Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers. And man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark side. Yes, indeed. The dark side brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is your fate.
Alright, so I apologize for not really saying anything. Actually, you guys know me. I said before, I wasn't going to try not to interrupt any cutscenes. So now we are we're starting our game. So the knight that dropped this corpse down has a key on it. Although I don't know why he had to drop a whole corpse down here. He couldn't just drop the key. But whatever. That knight we will actually be seeing here shortly. So we start off in a prison, and one thing is, let's see, we are hollow. So we're undead, but we're hollowing. So basically, we're in a prison where if you caught the dark sign, which allowed you to be undead, you were sent to this faraway prison. Basically, it was treated like a plague. Okay, so off to the right here we have this. This is a boss fight over here. Off to the right we have a giant monster called a stray demon. We will actually be coming back to this way later on in the game. We're not going to be able to take him on right now. I'm just gonna let you guys know, if it sounds like if you hear sniffling or heavy breathing, it's because I'm still coming over being sick. The other day I felt very weak and very sick. I really didn't want to get up and do anything. So I've been sick over the past couple of days, so I'm still trying to recover from it. Feeling a little bit better, but it's really affecting my work. Okay, so bonfire. First bonfire. Alright, so this one we're not going to be able to do anything to it. Alright, so one thing I want to show you real quick, and a lot of people already know this, but once you open up the door and you look up, you'll see the stray demon. Well, not a stray demon. This is actually the asylum demon. So he's gonna hop down and he's gonna try to kill us. Now you can actually kill him right now if you want. That's why I brought the black fire bombs. I can actually do pretty good damage to him. Oh god. Oh boy. And there is actually an incentive to defeating him early. However, I don't want to do that. Whew. Okay, so there actually is incentive to defeat him early, and the incentive is that if you kill him early on, you actually get his weapon. Now, if we were to do that, we wouldn't be able to get a particular item that we need to progress onwards. And as a matter of fact, it would be relocated. We would need to talk to somebody. But I'll save that for like another time or another playthrough if we do that. Okay. So we got our heater shield. Menus are so different in this game. Go ahead and get our sword, long sword. Oh wow, we got a bow already. Okay. So I'm gonna come down here. There's a door over here that opens up. It has a quick, short little gate. Goes back over to this first bonfire over here. But we're not gonna need to rest at it right now. Oh god, I didn't roll out of the way in time. Okay, so there's an enemy up here that triggers that. Once you walk up the stairs, it actually triggers that. And you have to go into that hole because you're not going to be able to open up this door. You have to go into that hole and speak with somebody. So, if you remember that knight at the beginning, this is him.
Oh, You. You're no hollow. Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I, we're both undead. Hear me out, will you?
Sure, I'll hear you out.
I have failed in my mission, but perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family. Thou who art undead art chosen. In thine exodus from the undead asylum, maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know. And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask. An undead favorite.
Alright, we got our Estus flask.
And this. Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now. And thank you.
Okay, so something's gonna happen once we leave. Hang on.
I would hate to harm you.
Okay. So something's gonna happen once we leave, but if you take a look around the room, there's no other way for us for him to get in here. So the only way there's no other entrance in here. This doorway is blocked off, but there's an opening up here. There's a speculation that when he was up on the roof or wherever he was, it could be a balcony, it could be a roof, we don't know. He probably encountered the asylum demon, and the asylum demon probably smashed him through the floor so hard that he ended up in this roll down here on the ground. So we're gonna walk away, and if you listen, he killed himself. But he gave us our Estus flask and the key to move forward. If you killed the asylum demon early, before talking to him, the man's name is Oscar. He's from Astora. He actually also gives you the key to actually leave the asylum as well. But since we didn't kill the asylum demon early, we're actually gonna get it from the boss. Oh boy. Ow. Alright. And another short bow, but no arrows. Aw, man. There we go. Now we're gonna have to come back later to get the key for this door. That's also when we would actually be able to also take on the stray demon, the demon just like the asylum demon that we saw earlier. So let's go ahead, head on in, and plunge attack. Oh man, all of his health restored. Oh man, I was hoping that plunge attack would be the finisher. Die! There we go. Alright, big pilgrim's key. And we get a humanity. Oh, and 2,000 souls, which is awesome. Alright, so there's no telling where exactly we are, but it's a safe bet to say that we're way off in the mountains, but I'm saying we're way off from where the main game takes place. Let's see. I don't see anything in like a distance or something like that. Yep. Okay, here we go.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
Okay, so Firelink Shrine. This is the original Firelink Shrine as opposed to the one in Dark Souls 3. So the crow that brought us here is named Snuggly the Crow, and he perches himself up later on nearby. Actually, he's already here. So there he is up there. So that's Snuggly the Crow up there. That's the one that took us over here, and that took us over here from the prison. He can take us back over there. We just need to do. There's a certain area we need to go to in order to access the platforms to get to him. However, we're not going to be able to do that for a little bit. So, and plus we also should level up some before we go back. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk to this guy. This is a this appears to be a reoccurring character. Well, someone like this is a reoccurring character within the Souls series. Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, and somewhat Dark Souls 3, I guess you could, if you consider the one that's already there. There's someone called a Crestfallen Warrior. Basically, I guess these people are like Dishonored Knights or something like that. I'm not exactly entirely certain, but let's go ahead and give them a talk.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first, but there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are, actually, 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the undead church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happens. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead.
Okay, so if you guys listen to Oscar's dialogue in the beginning, he said that the those who are undead are chosen. The undead that leaves the prison in pilgrimage to the land of the ancients to ring the bell of awakening. However, you find out that there's actually 2. One in Blight Town, which is a land down below. We will visit that place much later. And then also one in the Undead Church, which is the one I'm trying to shoot for as soon as we can. But it really depends on how long we go. So let's go ahead and talk to him some more.
Ah, your face.
Your face! Oh, God.
Going hollow could solve quite a bit.
Yeah, shut up. Let's give him one more time.
What? Restoring your humanity? Well, there are a few ways to go about it. Collected bit by bit from corpses.
Ooh, excuse me.
Up a cleric and get yourself summoned. And the quickest way, although I never do it, is to kill a healthy undead and pillage its humanity. Coveting thy neighbor is only human, after all.
So since we're hollowed out, basically we're the humanity that we how the mechanic works here in this game is that you gather these humanities, and what it does is it fills a meter up in the top right, up in the top left corner, top left corner. That number where the 00 is. So if you if you use a humanity, puts one humanity in your meter. It fully restores your health, and also it has some other status effects. I'll get into that another time. But one of the main uses of it is so that way you can go to a bonfire, hit reverse hollowing, and become human. However, if you die, you lose your humanity as well as your souls. And then you become hollow again. So now we're human again. So ways to gather humanity, just like he said, is to be summoned and get a humanity for completing something, or to do an invasion, or you just have to find it, all over the place. And there's 3 of them right here. So, as you can tell, the mechanics from Dark Souls 1 differ far greatly from how the mechanics from Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3 work, as far as the humanity, even the crafting is also a little bit different. As a matter of fact, I think I prefer some of the crafting or some of the upgrading in this game as opposed to some of the other games, just because they treat it a little bit differently. Unlike in Dark Souls 2, where there's 3 blacksmiths, sorry. There's 3 blacksmiths. Dark Souls 3, where there's only 1 blacksmith. And in here, there's several blacksmiths. I think there's 4 of them. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. I think there's like 4 of them. There's 3 I know that there's 3, but I'm trying to remember what the 4th one is. Oh yeah, there is 4, and we'll get to see all 4 of them pretty soon. So we have several areas. We're not given much direction where to go, but we have several areas where we could go. We could come up here, and this leads off to a small graveyard. However, we're not going to want to come here yet because we will get absolutely destroyed. Although I want to come up here real quick. There's a small little treasure up here. Ooh. Man, I hate being sick. Alright, so we got our little treasure. Let's see. Oh, and that crestfallen warrior will also be there for a good while. We'll be able to talk to him. He'll get more dialogue throughout the story, and we'll get to see him. We'll get to see him later on as well. I'll show you what I'm talking about later.
Hello there. I believe we are not acquainted.
No, we're not.
Petrus of Thurland. Have you business with us?
Yes.
If not, I'd prefer to keep a distance, if possible.
Okay, come on.
Hello there. I realize that I have requested that we retain our distance, but I also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will. Here, take this, as a token of peace. No, go ahead. It's for you.
Okay, so he's paying us basically to just leave him alone.
You again? Oh, I know. How I have to await my
Oops.
companions here anyway. So what if I were to teach you some miracles? Would that please you? Very well. Then first, a covenant with the gods.
Okay, so just like in all the other Souls, covenant. One is the way of the white. Just visiting like a statue or something like that, to become a member of a covenant. So this one is the way of white. So we're gonna go ahead and say yes. All right.
Now let me share my miracles. Only their ultimate effectiveness will be determined by your efforts and your faith.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and learn a gesture. Shrug. And then you can enter Covenant, but we're already in there. And then purchase miracles. You can also get talismans. In this game, you only have as a medium for miracles, you have talismans, unlike Dark Souls chimes, and then Dark Souls 3 where there are talismans and chimes, which was strange. And then you can also learn your miracles here. So he has some good ones here that are pretty good for beginners. So you have the Great Heal Exert. You have Force Homeward, which brings you back to your last bonfire. You have Force, which is just a small AoE effect, which just basically it doesn't really do any damage, but it allows you to kind of get some breathing room. And then you have Seek Guidance, which allows you to see other writings on the floor, so that way if you need any help, if you get stuck or anything like that. This one and Homeward are kind of not really all that useful. Homeward, you have items for that. Seek Guidance, I mean, there's messages all over the floors. And then you also have Heal, which is, you know, a self-explanatory miracle. It allows you to heal yourself. But we're not going to get anything here, so we're going to go ahead and talk to him.
Companions are Milady and her young knights. She is young, but burdened by an undead mission. We are her defenses, to keep her from harm.
And we're going to get to meet those people later on. They're actually not going to be here for a good bit. I believe we actually have to be about a quarter of the way through the game in order to before they actually come by. So let's see.
Mission? Regrettably, I cannot share that with you. But you are my pupil. Perhaps if you show your faith.
Okay, if we pay him, he'll tell us what's going to happen. So let's go ahead and do that.
Very well. I can surely tell you, of all people, undead clerics are given a mission to seek kindling. Kindling is the art of feeding bonfires with humanity. Through kindling, we shall one day be granted magnificent powers.
Okay, so, and we're able to kindle bonfires ourselves. Basically, kindling is, as he said, putting humanity into the bonfires. And what this does is, it's a different mechanic to Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3, where you just get to make your S's stronger. Kindling allows you to get more uses out of your S's class. So if you kindle it once, or if a basic bonfire will grant you 5 S's class. If you kindle it once, it allows you an additional 5, so you get 10. And then if you do it twice, then you get 15, and so on, up to 20. Now, in order to make them stronger is a separate mechanic. You have to get items, but you have to bring them to certain people, and I'll get into that a little bit later. So they're looking for the rite of kindling, which allows us to, we'll be able to take a look at it later. But basically, long story short, it allows us to kindle the fires much better, much further. So let's go ahead and talk to him one more time.
Very well. I can unkindle through.
Okay, so he has nothing else to say.
Come again. The effectiveness of the teachings depend upon your faith.
Okay, so we'll be able to be his companions a lot later. So I think we have to get about through a quarter of the game, like I said. So up here are actually a couple of elevators, but they are not up here at the moment. But we're able to drop down into a small room. Ooh, the dark effects are down here. And down here we have some treasures. However, down not very peculiar. So we have a cracked red eye orb. We have a morning star and a talisman. And we have a homeward bone. I think there's one more. Yep, there's one more. Lloyd's Talisman. Now all this item is it's a throwable item that keeps your opponents from using SS Flask to heal. And I believe, if I remember correctly, we can actually go and talk to him about it. I really don't want to spend too much time in one area. I really want to get moving, but let's see if I want to try and see if I
Hello.
can.
Let's get.
Okay.
Very well. Unkindly through kind.
Ow! Holy crap! Skeleton followed me all the way over here. Come on. There we go. Alright. I didn't expect that skeleton to follow us all the way out here. Okay. So I'm gonna go heal up real quick and we'll move forward. Alright, so there's actually two ways we can go, but I'm gonna go this way. Aha. And jump. Alright, Ring of Sacrifice. Awesome ring to have, honestly. So let's head on up. Ow. All right. And here we are. All right, on Berg. Ow. Okay. Just Undead City. It's a great beginning area for I think it's the best beginning areas in Dark Souls franchise. Disasters are gone after the defeat of Gravelord's servant. Okay, that's something I noticed when I first played this game, or first played this remaster, is like, it did that very early in the game, and usually you don't get that until like New Game Plus. So I'm wondering what the mechanic is behind that, honestly, but I'll find out later on. Okay, so as I was saying, is that I like the Undead Berg. It's one of my favorite beginning areas in the entire Dark Souls franchise. Just because, like, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Starts you off with some relatively easy enemies, and it really promotes exploration. So you actually can walk around quite a bit and find, you know, new things around here. So like this area, totally optional area. but you get some decent stuff here, except for that pile of rubbish. But you get a humanity. All right, back on track. And also one thing that's kind of different is like fog walls. It says traverse white light, but fog walls basically usually meant that you were about to start fighting a boss. But here, it kind of just unlocks new areas. So I'm not entirely certain why it does it in this game and not in like later games, but it doesn't matter. Oh boy, man! When I first saw that, the first time I ever saw that, I was just like, oh my god! It already wants me to fight a dragon. But this game makes it very clear that that's not a dragon, it's a drake. It's different. So I guess drakes are, I guess, like mini dragons. Not sure what the exact difference is. So like yeah, like you have I guess you have like dragons and you have drakes, and I guess you have wyverns. So they're oop. Come on. There we go. Hollow soldier armor. Sweet. Alright, so let's go ahead and light up. And one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do some leveling up real quick. And as far as summoning, just because this game was one of the hardest, I believe was the hardest as opposed to Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3. I still plan to keep summoning to a minimum. There's obviously going to be some exceptions, of course. Alright, so... Alright. I'm hoping that we do get invasions, though. Alright, and over here we will find our first merchant.
You seem to have your wits about you. Hmm? Then you are a welcome customer. I trade for souls. Everything's for sale.
Alright, let's go ahead and talk to him.
Things are getting treacherous in these parts. A horrible goat demon has moved in below. And up above, there's that humongous drake and a bull demon too. If you stick around this place, it might end up being your grave.
Okay, so there's a goat demon, a bull demon, and a drake.
Here, I'm not into chit-chat. We talk business.
Okay. I guess that's enough of that. Okay, so he has some pretty good items for to start off with. Repair powder is very, very useful. Weapon durability works a little bit different in this game as opposed to 2 and 3, and that is resting at a bonfire will not repair your weapon or will not repair its durability. So once it actually, so it keeps going and going and going until you actually repair it. So you actually have to take it to a blacksmith, or you have to get a repair kit. We'll be able to get one. We'll be able to run into those later on. So let's take a look. Let's see. Oh, I don't have enough for that residence key. Repair box I would be able to buy. Let's see. Some decent weapon choices here too. Not too bad. Let's see. Maybe get some large arrows.
Thank you kindly.
Now, if you notice, he's petting something, but there's nothing there. I believe, if I remember correctly, we'll be able to talk to him about that later. So, but in the meantime, I want to do a couple of things real quick. Okay. Alright.
Oh, I hope you...
Let's see. I want to buy that bottomless box because if we don't buy it, we'll just keep gathering stuff. We won't be able to put it away into something. Basically, it's a good idea just to get this thing early on. But also, at the same time, I want to get this residence key, which actually would allow us to unlock unlock a particular door. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this right now. Actually,
Oh,
we'll come back. And since I'm running out of time, I really don't want to hang around too long. Ooh. All right. All right, we have less than 15 minutes. Also, fast climbing is not a mechanic that's in this game, unfortunately. All right, over here. Got ourselves a crossbow and some standard bolts. Ooh. Alright, let's get this guy real quick. I hear footsteps, but I think they're coming from downstairs. I'm starting to lose my voice, so I really hope I'm not... really hope I don't need to play this out too long. Alright, so let's go get that bottomless box real quick. Just because it's a really good idea just to get it.
I hope you brought...
Okay, blah 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 blah. Let's go ahead and get this bottomless box.
Oh, thanks.
Alright, so now that all that's out of the way, let's go ahead and push on to get our first boss. Okay, so we got plenty of summon signs down here. So obviously the player base is still pretty healthy right now. I really think that this game was re-released to try to get people to start playing the first one again. I really don't want to summon anybody, but I kind of want to. The servers feel a little bit more solid in this game. Ooh, excuse me. The servers feel a little more solid this time around as opposed to when it initially came out. Alright, so we got ourselves some fire bombs, however, we're not going to really need it right now. I can't tell you my first time when I first played this game, this little area got me killed so many times. Just 3 little enemies. 3 very weak enemies got me killed so many times just because I was such a noob at this game. Oh, and also the ragdoll effect is still in this game, which honestly made messing around with the dead bodies that much more fun to me. That came out completely wrong. Alright, so residence key. Let's go ahead and open this up. And we get some gold pine resin, which will help us out with our first boss fight. Okay, so I would always suggest going to this tower because this sniper will always get you. Because once you head down here, then your back is to him and he will start hitting you from behind. Come here. Okay, so I would go downstairs, but two things. A, I don't have a whole lot of time, and B, there's a very tough enemy. So if I still have enough time after this boss fight, which I should, then I'll go ahead and do it. Okay, also, there's a door here. It's locked, but if we had the master key, we would be able to unlock it. We will be able to unlock it at some point, but just not right now. I know you're around here somewhere. There you are. Alright. Sweet. Okay, so Titanite lizards are also still in here. And unlike the third one, unlike the third one, where if they just die, regardless of whether you killed them or not, in the third one, if they just die, you get the loot. But regardless if you killed them or not. However, if you do not kill them, if they die by like running off the edge, you do not get the loot. But if you kill them, then you get the loot. If they just die by running off a cliff, or if they disappear, you don't get anything. Okay, so a lot of summon sides here, but I really don't want to use them. However, what I do want to do is trade this out real quick. Let's head on through. Alright, so something I want to do before we fight the first boss, because we're in the arena. Ooh! Oh no! Oh man! Ah! Okay, that's a very rare creature there. Oh man, I knew they could attack, but I didn't think they would be that strong. That is a very rare creature. Alright, I don't have a whole lot of time to like just to mess with these guys, so I'm just gonna plow right through. I don't remember the names off the top of my head, but and I'll find out for you guys, I promise. But basically those creatures, they're very rare creatures, but they yield, if you kill them, they have some very good rewards. It's not items, but you can get a very high amount of souls or humanity, and usually those things only. It's not always a guarantee that they'll appear, and they appear in random places. But what happens is basically they show up if someone dies in another world, and they had a lot of souls or humanity. So if you if they die with a lot of that stuff, it has a chance to appear in your world, and if you kill it, you get to reap the rewards of someone else's stuff. Okay. It's a very rare. It's a very rare thing. I think I've only maybe seen like 4 or 5 of them. In my entire time playing Dark Souls 1, I think I've only seen it like 4 or 5 times, and I've only killed one once, and I got I've got a lot of souls, and I think I got like 10 humanity or something like that. It was great. Okay. Oh, I hate this. Oh no! Oh, okay. Did I win? I guess I got it. Hooray! Okay, I got about 4 minutes, so I'm gonna go back over there and try that again. Okay, wow, that was interesting. I've never had that happen to me before. Wow. Couple of first things happening. A couple of first things happening all at once. All right, let's head on back up and see if we can recover everything. Yep, that killed him. Okay, well, I guess I'll take it. Okay, so I'm gonna try to rush back real quick. Oh boy, I'm almost out of time. Okay, actually, I'm gonna do one thing real quick, and then I'm going to head back over to the bonfire.
Hello. You don't look hollow. Far from it. I am Solaire of Astora, an adherent of the Lord of Sunlight.
Solaire.
I have come to this great land, the birthplace of Lord Gwyn, to seek my very own son. You find that strange? Well, you should. You don't need to hide your reaction. I get that look all the time.
This is just about everybody's favorite character throughout the whole game. So the reason why I want to talk to him is because he gives us a very particular item.
So I didn't scare you. I have a proposition, if you have a moment.
Sure, let's talk to him.
The way I see it, our fates appear to be intertwined. In a land brimming with hollows, could that really be mere chance? So what do you say? Why not help one another on this lonely journey?
Yes.
It pleases me greatly. Well then, take this.
Whee! Soapstone!
We are amidst strange beings in a strange land. The flow of time itself is convoluted, with heroes centuries old phasing in and out. The very fabric wavers, and relations shift and obscure. There's no telling how much longer your world and mine will remain in contact. But use this to summon one another as spirits, cross the gaps between the worlds, and engage in jolly cooperation. Of course, we are not the only ones engaged in this, but I am a warrior of the sun. Spot my summon signature easily by its brilliant aura. If you miss it, you must be blind.
Alright, so he gave us the soapstone, which allows us to be summoned into other people's world. And as you saw all over the ground, people already had the soapstone. So let's see if we can talk to him one more time real quick.
I will stay behind to gaze at the sun. The sun is a wondrous body, like a magnificent father. If only I could be so grossly incandescent.
Solaire. Alright, well, you know what? I am all out of time. I'm not gonna have time to run back over to the bonfire, but you know what? That's okay, because I am all out of time. So I'm looking forward to doing a playthrough. I really want to try to beat Dark Souls 1 again. I've only beaten it twice, so I'm going for a third. So hopefully we can do that, and plus the DLC. So all bosses, complete run through. Looking forward to it, and I hope you guys are too. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Where's my wave? Bye bye.